Alright guys, we're here with break number 3 on this. It's the same thing, the 5 and the 4 cards. You've seen the first, if you've probably been watching the first 2, so I don't think we need to go over everything. Good luck to everybody. Letter and names are over there on the right of the list. Said when we get more of this in, I will do some slight adjustment of the letters on the list, since we kind of know what is popular and what's not now. Although we are starting out with a Bach on the B's, so that's a good start, as the B's struggle a little bit early, going to Mitch on the Bach. We're going to get Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson. So the S and the W, it's going to be Adam and Joseph Bryson. We'll have to get you guys loaded up. I believe this would be about guns, Smith and Wesson. Also, Chris, if you're in here watching, remember to message me about that Sapphire tomorrow in the morning, so I remember to look up the price of it. If you can remember, because it's literally sitting on my desk downstairs, and every time in my house, and every time I look at it, I'm like, damn it, I need to look up the price of that, and then get sidetracked and do something else. So, send me a reminder tomorrow. I appreciate it. We're going to have Jimmy Carter on the relic for the C's. Got Stonewall Jackson. Jays and Mike. George Washington and Ben Franklin on the same stamp. So we got W and F, so that's going to have to be Billy and Adam. Talk that one out. George Washington Carver going to the C's. Jose Garcia. C starting off a little bit hot in this one. We got Carter and Carver. Got Geronimo for the G's. Going to Jose. Alexander Hamilton going to the H and going to Christie on the jumbo patch. Queen Elizabeth II going to the E's. It is not hyphenated. Queen Elizabeth. That's why I specifically mentioned hyphenated, like Catherine Seda Jones. If it's 3 names, it's the last name, the last surname. Because Carver really went by Carver. He definitely didn't go by Washington, but his name was not hyphenated. I don't know. I think Washington was his middle name. To be honest, I don't even think it was literally a last name. I think his name was, like, I don't know if other guys had middle names. Like, I don't know if George Washington, what his actual middle name was, but I'm pretty sure George Washington Carver's the middle name was Washington. I probably should have put surname and not last name, so there wasn't any confusion at all. We have Ben Franklin and George Washington, so maybe you guys can split since there's 2 of them, and we'll just talk it out. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say. I still don't know who that one lady was from earlier that Robbie was like, you don't know who that is? I was say, other than that, I know who everybody is, I was going to say. I must have missed that day in history class when she got talked about. We're going to have John Tyler Commander. Or John Tyler, my bad. Assuming he was a commander is what this is about. That'll go to the T's. Nice for the T's to get on the board with Brian Nagel. Annie Oakley. We have Alexander the Great and another like piece of coin or whatever this is. My man's is... At least this time he fits in a top loader. Going to the A's. I mean, I know she was a gunslinger, but I don't know like where she was in history. Like I know obviously you can look at her and be like, oh, she's part of the West. But I don't know if she was in like the 1840, like the 1850s, 1860s, or... Have the big relic here in the first half. I've never heard of Annie Oakland. I'm gonna have to look her up, you guys. Looks like she was a sharpshooter, but I could have. I could have told you that from the picture that she was a gunslinger from the West. You got Lyndon B. Johnson. One of the J's. George Washington. So W's. We got the triple auto Michelangelo, Caravaggio, and Da Vinci. On the triple auto, triple memorabilia. So that's going to be D, C, and M. So I get you guys in a group. Got my man George Washington. Yeah, Blackhawk going to the H's. Benjamin Franklin. Jeez, Jeff. On the Jumbo Relic. Got Abe Lincoln. Go to Ryan Sterkel. See what this big blue bag is. Bro, this thing's ridiculous. Like, oh, it's the Queens. It's gonna be Queen Mother Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, and Princess Diana. So you have to own more than 50%. So the E's just missed out. They wouldn't need another Elizabeth on here. But Tom Giuliano, Mark Dixon, and who's the V's? Richard Thomas. We'll get you guys in a group for the big boy gold bar, the Queens. Ryan was getting worried. He's like, where's all the Abe Lincolns from earlier? Just... Got Thomas Jefferson. There we go. We got the 4-cent stamp Abe Lincoln. James Madison. Got George Washington for the W's, going to Adam Cantrell. Abraham Lincoln, even though he's upside down in the sleeve. George Washington here. Solo Dolo Georgie going to Adam. We got Abe Lincoln here with the American flag border. Now it's getting hot and heavy on Abe. Whole box has been like nothing but him and George. We have Alfred Nobel going to Tom Stanley. Then we have Eisenhower. Oh. Completely whiffed on the sleeve. Geronimo. Going to the G. That's going to Jose Garcia. We got Henry Ford. Going to F. Got Alexander Hamilton on the H. Going to Christie. Jeff said it's confirmed. I just don't like him. That's why. Christie's hitting more stuff with H than Jeff did. Colo, Dolly, and Van Gogh. So V, K, and D. There's been a lot of D's. You just got to share. I was gonna say, we'll get lucky in some of the randoms. I have Henry Ford again. Stonewall Jackson on the J going to Mike. You might be able to just trade him for a Lincoln, to be honest, if you wanted to. We have Squanto, S going to Joseph Bryson. Imhotep. Going to the eyes and Mike. Yeah, early the first case, the first half cases, R was pretty good. There's definitely a lot of chances. You got Theodore and you have Theodore Roosevelt, FDR, Rockefeller. It's just been not a good break so far for ours. Got Thomas Jefferson. Oh, I hit the camera, didn't I? Sure did. Dual Relic Warhol and Dolly. Going to D and W. Going to Adam and Mark. Machine Gun Kelly going to K. And Richard Thomas. Last box here. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson on the duel. We get Ben Franklin on the stamp, 3-cent stamp. Gonna go to F and Billy. That's going to be the break. Let's do a quick recap of the cards. We'll still get into number 4 tonight as well. Start off with Washington and Franklin. Washington and Franklin again. And we have Washington and Jefferson, Machine Gun Kelly. We have Dali and Warhol. Warhol's a little crazy. We have Jefferson, Imhotep. We're going to have Squanto, Stonewall Jackson, Henry Ford. We have Dali, Culloh, and Van Gogh. Hamilton, Henry Ford, Geronimo. Eisenhower. It'll be Alfred Nobel. Lincoln, George Washington, Lincoln again. We're going to have George Washington, James Madison, Abraham Lincoln on the stamp, Thomas Jefferson, Lincoln, Blackhawk, George Washington. We have Caravaggio, Da Vinci, and Michelangelo. I have Washington, LBJ, Alexander the Great, and then Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin, John Tyler, Geronimo, Queen Elizabeth, Alexander Hamilton, Jimmy Carter. Gonna have Smith and Wesson, Bach, Stonewall Jackson, and George Washington Carver. And then we're going to have Queen Elizabeth, the mother Queen Elizabeth II, Princess Diana, and Queen Victoria. And that's going to be the bar. Get everybody in a group for that one as well. That's the break, guys. For everybody hit, congratulations. For those that didn't, hit me up that you skunked, and I'm going to get everybody that skunked into some sort of skunk protection random. I'll figure out the values based on how many people there are and go from there. Since we're trying to figure it out, I was going to say, I am really surprised, though, Brian. I know you didn't hit any R's, that the R's didn't hit because they crushed in the first two. Not crushed, but they did well. So I'm actually surprised you missed on that. But nonetheless, hit me up just as a reminder.